Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing fantastic wherever you are, wherever you're sitting. Of course, today is Wednesday, January 16th, guys. It's hump day, guys. We made it. Hopefully you are sitting well. I know I say that a lot, but really, guys, a good thing to keep in mind is that in trading, in the markets, in life, you have to keep a positive outlook. One of the most common sayings that I've heard and that I think is absolutely true is that you get what you give. And the market is a reflection of who you are as a person. If you're an underlying negative person, then you'll tend to be bearish and you'll probably be more profitable looking for opportunities to short or seeing all the negatives. You will be more of a conservative trader. And if you're extremely optimistic, then you're going to see all the opportunities. You're going to aggressively take lots of long positions. The key thing there is that both of those strategies, both of those mindsets, both of those outlooks can be profitable. The only thing that differentiates a profitable trader from an unprofitable trader, in my experience, is risk management and discipline of sticking to a strategy. So keep that in mind, guys, as we move forward with the presentation. All right, cool. Getting up on the viewers. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to do something a little bit different today. Obviously, we're going to get into the analysis here. I'm going to pull open the charts. If we can get 5 followers on Twitch today, all right, 5 followers on Twitch, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away 1 week of free access to the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. You'll get access to the private Discord, all the trade signals and setups, the VIP Members Lounge chat room, the VIP Day Trading voice chat, the resources, etc., etc. So that's that giveaway I will do if we can get 5 followers on Twitch in the next hour. Again, today's show is only going to be an hour. I actually have a business meeting that's going to be coming up this afternoon that I cannot miss. Also a meeting with my attorney. So got to take care of all that stuff. Still working on the presentation for our speech, or excuse me, our presentation to the American Association of Individual Investors coming up this Saturday in Brookfield, Wisconsin at the Westmore Country Club. I will be speaking to them. There's going to be a lot of people there, individuals from the SEC, individuals talking about regulation on cryptocurrency. It's going to be a fantastic event. We're going to be there giving our presentation on Bitcoin and blockchain. So tickets are still available if you want to go see that. Again, it's going to be, I think, for individuals who are familiar with Bitcoin and blockchain. You're probably not going to learn a whole lot, but if you want to see an opportunity to see me on stage, there it is. If you want to come out and meet the crew. All right, David Wolf, Jian Singh Rathor says, O&T, big up, buy now. Well, we'll take a look, man. What's this best called? Alex, I don't know, man. Hello, everyone. All right, guys. So do that follow away. That giveaway is going to be. You have to be a subscriber on Twitch to get the giveaway. But if we get 5 follows, I'm going to give a week of free access to the premium group. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Should have made a banner. All right, so we're going to do the. We're going to start off today with an overall analysis. A lot of things could go either way. Altcoins kind of popping off. Good day to play altcoins, in my opinion. Things kind of tore off last night. Overall, the overall market trend is still highly indecisive, so you do need to be careful. So let's take a look at the weekly, and let's take a look at price action to determine what our strategy would be for a positional trade at this point in time. So if I look at the weekly time frame here, price action is telling me the following. Hey, Bitcoin Bella, thanks for the follow on. Wow, they just came in. There's 3 right there, man. Right on. Codex Girl, Omega 180984, Bitcoin Bella. Hey, thanks so much for the follows on Twitch, guys. 2 more and we'll do that giveaway. All right. Hey, Kyle Mitchell, what's going on, my friend? All right, so last week's bearish candle retraced 50% of our entire bullish impetus. So we had came down, put in support. We had a nice bullish reaction back up to our equilibrium zone right here, our resistance zone. And I am plotting the weekly resistance zone based on the candle, the true body candle of this equilibrium candle here. What is an equilibrium candle? An equilibrium is where you have a balance in the market for a brief period in time that is generally counter to the underlying trend. So in this situation, obviously, we had the underlying trend of bearishness. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about, and it's 6 if we really include this, because this is just an equilibrium block where you find for a brief period in time in a dominant market cycle, in a dominant trend, you find a period of equilibrium where price stalls out and doesn't move anywhere really for a week. So this was not, if you look at the wicks, obviously there were fantastic trading opportunities, but as far as candle body closes, as far as the actual true strength of the ability of the bulls to push price up or the bears to push price down. Overall, this was a very weak doji candle and therefore is an equilibrium candle. It forms an equilibrium zone. And what I've noticed is it's very similar to trading gaps on traditional stock charts. I've also seen hey, thanks so much. Kugaka, hey, thanks for the sub on Twitch, man. Highly appreciated. You're in there like swimwear. All right. What I have noticed in my experience is that when you're looking for equilibrium blocks will often form key areas of support and resistance, in this case, forming clear resistance, as we can see. So price put in another 2 weeks of bearish action. We had a bullish impetus back to retest the equilibrium zone, back to retest the resistance zone. Put in 2 fairly sluggish weeks. The bulls made a nice college try. This was a nice candle, but you could see the declining volume, just the strength that you would want to see on an actual breakout wasn't there. And then we completely rejected from the resistance zone, did a 50% retrace of our bullish impetus. And what do we see now? Now the high, hold on a second here. So it's covering it up right now. So right where the white line is on my chart, there's actually a green line behind it. Maybe if I make it a little thicker. That's interesting. So I'll put it there for you guys to see a little bit clearer. There we go. I really like that. I really like that sub music, man. I really like that. I'm happy that I found that tune, guys. It's a good one. Hopefully I didn't blow out your eardrums. I apologize if I did. All right, thank you so much, guys. Larry Berry, Steve, thanks for the follow. Trader Chris, thank you so much for the follow. And Detro 10 Crypt, thanks for the Prime subscription, man. Highly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so let me do the analysis. We'll do the giveaway, and then we'll look at a couple altcoins, and then I'm going to jet again. All right, so we have the high of the previous bearish candle that we had putting in support. All right, this is important to see. Now, there are areas you can look at this zone of support as well. You can actually use the candle body close if you want, right there. But you can see this is our current support zone formed by the close, or excuse me, the open of the bearish candle and its actual wick to the upside. This area was blasted through on the weekly time frame. This would have been your call signal when you're actually closing daily candles above this level. You can also use 4-hour candles if you want to trade the lower time frames, but you always want to go from highest to lowest when you're looking for your underlying directional bias. You start off on your higher time frames to determine which direction you want to take your trade, and you start zooming in. You start zooming into the daily. Okay, where does price need to go to confirm my trade? Okay, you go to the 4-hour. Okay, where does price need to go for me to enter? All right, that's about as if you follow that strategy, weekly, daily, 4-hour, and you put the basis, or excuse me, you put the weight of your analysis on those time frames, you're going to do quite well. If you start off on the lower time frames and work your way up, more often than not, you're going to get wrecked. And again, I don't really like using that term because it's not so much getting wrecked. It's just a poor way to trade, guys. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Oh, maybe you guys can't hear it. Oh, okay. I got it for sure. Maybe you guys can't hear that that beautiful tune that plays that plays when somebody subscribes. Maybe I have to fix that, but it's an awesome tune. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. Let's see here. Why? Oh, okay. So we have our current support zone on the weekly time frame. We had 2 weeks of the high of this candle acting as support. Now, we closed a weekly candle below that level, but we did not close a weekly candle below the open of this candle right now. So on a weekly time frame, we now have support right at this level. That level is 35.34. If we want to be absolutely precise with it, actually, let's see, the open of this is 35.28. So let's actually adjust that and make sure that's in the right place, 35.28. Okay, great. And the high of the candle is 35.88. So let me adjust that. For some reason, like I just posted this to Discord and did my morning analysis, but those 2 lines got deleted from my chart. I don't know why. Okay. So we closed a weekly candle below support and are now retesting that zone of support, that support area that is formed again by the open of the previous bearish candle before the impetus wave to the upside. So if the current weekly candle closes above this level right here, which acted as previous support, we can assume that price will either move sideways in consolidation, and in which case we will wait for a trade, or B, it will move to retest the equilibrium zone, the current resistance zone. If that happens, if we look at the daily time frame, if we look at the lower time frames, that begins to look fairly bullish. Again, the more times you test resistance, the weaker resistance gets. The more times you test support, the weaker support becomes. And if we are able to break above this level, then we can look for quite a bullish trade to the upside. So overall, though, we have to realize that the bears still carry much more momentum in the market. So we still have to be careful with long positions. The bulls are attempting to currently hold weekly support, but you can just clearly see from the momentum of the candles that their purchasing power is quite small in comparison to the bears. So we still have to be very cautious with long positions. And when we put them on, we must have a good reason to. For example, a liquidity pool that's been tapped into. A lower time frame support zone, a volatile downwards movement where the bears are momentarily exhausted. Those are opportunities where you should be looking to enter into long positions. Now, whether they evolve into directional positions where you're scaling into a profitable position over time, or whether it's a scalp trade or whatever metric of trade you want to take, is going to depend on the momentum of the higher time frames. So at this current point in time, having a longer term short position open on Bitcoin, hedging any position that you're taking is still the valid, safe idea. Until Bitcoin can close above the resistance zone, until Bitcoin can close a weekly candle above this level right here, until Bitcoin can actually close a weekly candle above 4,100, the impetus on the higher time frames remains to the downside. Now, if we close this current weekly candle below our current level of support, then I will expect a retest of the lows of 3,100. I will still be playing that area very heavily on the long side. If price goes to if price goes below 3,100, I'm going to fill up a position. If price goes to 2,900, I'm doubling down on my position. There is an amazing amount of liquidity if you look at the order books. And again, the biggest thing that I hear, and you're not a novice, you're not a bad trader if you say this, but oh well, the Bitcoin is spoofed and blah blah. Yes, Bitcoin is spoofed, but it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter that it's spoofed. It's spoofed on intraday timeframes quite frequently, but on higher timeframes across many exchanges at key levels right below support, there is an amazing amount of liquidity there, an amazing amount of interested buyers, and who wouldn't be? I mean, that would be an amazing opportunity to go along. We can look at this area of 3,000, very similar to the $6,000 area. There's been no clear rejection of this area yet. We have put in some nice strong support right around that area. It is congruent with previous support over here. It is congruent. We are trading overall in the range where price previously consolidated before price made a volatile movement to the upside. And even if we are expecting an eventual break of this movement and an overall continuation to the downside down into my next trade zone right here, where I will be looking to take the next long, it's very, very, very unlikely that happens now. You have to look at the selling power of the bears and the equilibrium of the bulls. So as you can see here, over a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, over a 2-month span of time, the bulls have been able to stop the dominant, or excuse me, not stop the dominant downtrend, but stall it. All right. And price is now range bound between 3,000 and 4,000. It's quite simple. And when you understand that price is range bound and that you cannot adopt trend trading strategies, you begin to realize what is the best way that you can now trade a range. What is the best way to trade a range? Well, oscillators are typically going to be your best friend, looking at key levels of support and resistance in that zone, trading a channel. Those are all good recommendations. So for example, you have a clear channel. If we actually go down to the lower time frames, which I'll get into here in just a second, but understanding that overall price is range bound, and anybody that's screaming for 5K at this point in time and anybody that's screaming for 2K at this point in time doesn't fundamentally understand what they're talking about, because they're trying to predict the future. All right. They're trying to predict the future, and that is not what you should be doing. You should be looking at what the chart is telling you. You should be looking for profitable setups, high probability trades that have a greater probability to move in your favor than adversely against you. And you should be taking those positions with risk management. That's it. You don't need to be in a trade every day. You don't need to be in a position every day. Overall, I still say the smartest thing to have on right now, since the dominant trend is to the downside, you should still be looking for opportunities to add to hedged short positions. I'm not talking about like what people would normally call a position where enter here, take profit target here, stop loss here. No. 10x, 25x leverage, you're ridiculous, all right? When you are trying to preserve your capital, preserve your wealth, all right, you are looking to have, if you're looking to hedge in a correlated asset like Bitcoin, you're in my opinion, you're looking to use something like, if you're using BitMEX, you're looking to use XBT H19 or M19, preferably H19 because it has a higher price. There is a steeper discount on the M19 contract because it is further out in the future, as it often is. When price is trending downwards, there's going to be a discount the farther out the contract is to expiry. And you can use perpetual swap to do your day trading on. All right. You can be looking for those opportunities to go long when we have lower time frame key support levels, when we have momentary bearish exhaustion after a strong volatile movement downward, which is what we just saw today and yesterday. Toward the end of yesterday, after that larger dump yesterday, we did see a pretty nice, just steady decline upwards. And now we're ranging in that area. Let's go down to the daily. All right. So looking at the daily chart, So looking at the daily chart, we see the exact same thing on a micro frame that we're seeing in the macro here. So looking at the overall trading range that we're in, we do see our current descending resistance channel. All right, so this is the area to be placing on shorts. Again, if we look at the daily time frame, we can see after we form this equilibrium zone from the weekly time frame, which is our current resistance zone. So we're charting out key resistance on our highest time frame and moving down to our lower time frames to execute trades and look for confirmation. So several ways to play this. Again, you can continue to put on shorts as we reach the channel. And when you actually do see a daily close, that can be your first call signal above the resistance zone, above the equilibrium block. That is your call signal to begin putting on longs. All right. That is your confirmation that you need to be exiting your shorts and entering into long positions because we have broken resistance. All right. Now, obviously, I've talked about this before. 3 ways that you can play consolidation, 3 ways that you can play breakout trades. You can either A, enter in the consolidation period, which is more risky because you're still range bound, and unless you are setting up a directional position. So if you were trying to do that, obviously the idea is to establish the range. We currently have support down around 3,100, 3,200. So you are looking to buy in the lower area of the range and at the very least sell at the top of the range, or ideally wait for breakout, and that way you have bought the bottom. Now, the R to R there is the highest that it's going to be on playing a breakout trade. The only problem is it becomes difficult where to place your stop for most people. For most people, they're going to be setting their stop right below swing lows. So in this case, many individuals are going to be attempting to buy in these lower ranges around 32, 3,100, and they're going to have their stop set around 3,000, maybe 2,900. Okay. That is going to be sacrificing liquidity plays because those traders are most likely going to get kicked out of their positions. Why? Because they are not taking into account where the liquidity is in the market. If you're buying at 32, 3,100, now is it a possibility that price does actually reverse there and find a bottom? Yes, possible, especially on closing bases. But looking at the volatility of Bitcoin and just looking at the way markets move and the way that traders think and react, more than likely you're going to see a liquidity play. You're going to see price trade below your swing low, and the reason for that is very simple. There's liquidity there to fill up orders. If you are an institution, or not if you're an institution, but if you just have a large position, you can't just market buy in. You have to find areas in the market where there's going to be opposing liquidity to absorb your order. Because if you just enter in your order and there's not a sufficient amount of opposing orders, you're going to get slippage, you're going to move the order books, and most likely you're going to get counter traded. And again, people that have a lot of capital, if they deserve that capital, which means they know what they're doing with it, they don't allow themselves to make mistakes like that. So what they have to do is force the market into a situation or wait to capitalize on areas in the market where people are likely to panic. Retail traders are likely to panic. So as we can see here, looking at Bitcoin, if we're going to correlate this to BitMEX or Deribit or Kraken or Binance, doesn't matter. You're going to have a lot of stop losses set right here for everybody that's going to be attempting to buy the bottom. You're going to have your stop losses set right here. So what happens when price goes down? You're also going to have another thing on leveraged exchanges where you can go short. You're going to have a lot of buy sell. You're going to have a lot of stop limit sells there. All right. So not stop losses, but actually people attempting to short sell into the breakdown and enter their short position on confirmation of the downtrend. All right. Unfortunately for them, this is going to be a scenario where this is going to be a secondary touch of support. We expect support to hold, and we expect individuals to think that support's going to hold. So they're going to attempt to buy support and set their stop loss below support. But institutions are also seeing the exact same thing, or larger traders are seeing the same thing. And they're going to play on that capitulation and fear and set their buy orders where other individuals have their stop losses and and stop sells set, so that they can actually tap into that liquidity. Because at that moment in time, when price begins trading below, let's say 3,000 or 3,100, you're going to have stop losses firing off, and you're going to have stop sells, people attempting to short the breakout, dumping into the market. And what's that going to be doing? It's going to be providing liquidity to individuals that are taking the trade to the long side. So there's a couple ways to avoid this. Again, one good strategy is to use average true range. What I like to do is I like to use the swing low and then go one average true range below the swing low. So I'll take the swing low and I'll measure one average true range down. Now, when I'm looking at a setup like this, when I'm looking at a big daily consolidation period and I'm looking to play the entire range to the upside, I'm going to use the daily time frame. I'm not going to use the weekly time frame. I'm going to use the daily time frame, and that's going to give me a wide stop. And that means that I'm going to have to ladder my position size down so that I can get a better average entry. So I might have my first fill set around 3,100, where other individuals are going to be setting their fills, but that's going to be a 10% fill for a position size. And then below that, I'm going to have a 30% fill below support, like directly below support. And then maybe half an ATR or maybe one ATR from my entries, I'm going to have my 60% fill. So I am attempting to buy the bottom, all right, and ride it to the top. And I've got my stop loss below, hopefully, ideally, it doesn't work every time because, again, trading is about probability. I'm going to have my stop loss below where price is likely to go if it wicks down there. Now, what happens if my orders don't get filled, if price doesn't wick down as far as I would like it to? Well, then in that case, what I simply do is I scale into a profitable position. I remove my orders that didn't get filled, and I wait for previous resistance to get broken. I wait for confirmation that, yes, I made the right trade. I'm in a good position. Okay, let's do this. And then I'll just slowly add capital as price goes up. A lot of people don't like doing that. It's just, a lot of people are comfortable. A lot of people are comfortable ladder buying into losing positions. So for example, that's the biggest mistake. I talk about that a lot, where you don't have a plan to ladder buy for a good average entry in your buy zone. And what you do instead is you buy with your intended capital, and then price moves against you, and you're like, well, I'll just buy some more. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. If you don't go into a trade with the plan to ladder buy, and you assume after the fact, after price moves adversely against you, meaning price has already done two things. Oh, well, you've already made two mistakes. First off, you're panicking and making a trading decision based off emotion, which is, I should buy more now because price has moved against me, so I get a better average entry. You shouldn't do that. And price has already moved against you. Price has already not responded to your analysis the way that you thought it would. So you need to have a plan when you're initiating trades before you click the button, not after you click the button. All right, we'll finish off with the 4-hour analysis. Or excuse me, I didn't really say everything that I wanted to say about the daily. Okay, so on the daily chart, we see price flipping sideways action on the daily time frame, the micro to the macro. The market is struggling to pick a side here, so remaining hedged is still our safest bet. Look for opportunities to increase our short, which is still the dominant position, and we'll look for low time frame opportunities to scalp long positions. Current resistance and support are plotted, so let's go in here. There we go. All right, so my current support and resistance zones that I'm looking at are plotted. I am looking for, make sure that I got this right. Okay, excellent, fantastic. I am looking for a daily close above our current consolidation HVN. So here's our HVN right now that is acting as resistance, and price is consolidating in this range. We have an LVN below us and then a support HVN, which is holding up price. So I need to see a daily close above our current consolidation zone to confirm a bullish retest of the resistance zone. So that level is 36.40 for me. I'm waiting for a daily close above 36.40 to scale in more to a long position and throw off my head short. Alternatively, if the daily closes at this point below 35.50, that to me will be a rejection of this breakout zone, an invalidation of higher lows, which we have put in on the daily time frame, and a confirmation of a bearish impetus, in which case I will no longer be looking to take long positions, and I will be adding more to my XBTH 19 short. So going down to the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame shows me currently a bearish scenario. So we put in a higher low after the test of 3,500, but we were unable to close above the point of control right here. The point of control being the highest traded area of volume, acts as support and resistance. Now, we were unable to close above the point of control, and we put in this very impressive long-legged doji, which if you remove the wick to the downside, is basically an inverted hammer reversal candlestick pattern. The unclosed candle currently that we're trading on, of course, we've got 2 hours until the current 4-hour candle closes. It looks like a hammer, but we got to wait for the candle to close to prove the strength of the bulls. This is kind of a scenario where you don't want to be entering into a position. You have a reversal candle, and then you have another reversal candle. Again, you're still putting in higher lows, so the opportunity there for the long trade is on the table. But ideally, on the 4-hour chart, what you're watching for is an actual 4-hour close above the point of control. That's putting you very close to your daily resistance zone, where you do want to close the daily above, and you can begin to scale into your long position at that point in time. So we're currently getting rejection from the point of control and the high volume node forming overhead resistance. The bulls really need to hold this level in consolidation. If we start closing, if this candle fails, if we don't move sideways in consolidation, I'm okay with a little bit of downwards movement. But if we don't hold the support level, then it does not look good for the bulls today. And most likely, again, watching for this zone to break. Excuse me, I just moved it. Watching for this, watching for 35.50 to break on the daily time zone. All right. So I got a lot going on here. Let's get to the chat, man. Thank you so much. First off, I just want to give another shout out, guys. Thank you so much for the follows and the subs on Twitch, guys. We've definitely gotten as many followers as we need. Again, I will be giving away 1 week of free access to the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. Today, now that we've got those 5 followers, that giveaway is going to be for Twitch subscribers only. So make sure that you guys go over there and subscribe on Twitch. But I do want to give a big thank you to Hugh Glaster. Hey, what's going on, my friend? Sashko, my good friend. Bitcoin Bella, Omega 180984, Codex Girl, Larry Berry, Steve, Trader Chris, Detro 10 Crypt, Digital Knot, and Media J9 or Med J911. Thank you so much for the follows. And Trader Chris, Detro. Here, I like this name, man. Kuguka, I like it. I like it a whole lot. Thank you so much for the subs on Twitch, guys. Highly appreciated. And let me get to the YouTube chat. All right, first off, Zahir Nakvi, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Highly appreciated. I tried the average true range indicator on TradingView. How do you correlate the average true range values to price points? So the way that I use average true range, I'm going to sneeze. I can feel it. No? Not going to sneeze? Okay, not going to sneeze. All right. The way that I use ATR is first as a measure of volatility. So when the average true range is high, as an oscillator, when the average true range is high, that means that it means that the market is experiencing a high period of volatility, meaning it's very risky to enter trades. And you should go down to your lower time frames because there's going to be opportunities for lots of high volatile scalps. But as far as opening positional trades, you need to be cautious and be looking for when volatility spikes. You want to be very, very careful. You want to look at volume to correlate that you might be seeing a change in trend, because remember the underlying rule, guys. When you have an overall trend, when you have a market that is trending or moving in one direction or the other, unless you get volume divergence, so a big spike in volume, or you get a massive spike or a massive shift in sentiment, so longs to shorts ratios, you do not look for the trend to change. So this is something that I see a lot of people mistake. I just want to make a comment about that real quick, and this is volume. So when people look at volume, what people will commonly say, and this is just something that you learn with experience in trading, is so you'll see I don't know. So let's look at this. So people will say, okay, hey guys, the market's moving down and volume is dropping. All right, the market's moving down and volume is dropping, so that must mean that the pullback is weak. Okay, that must mean that the retracement is weak, and we're going to continue to the upside. I don't look at the market that way. What the market tells me is that we had a big spike in volume right here, and that we had the market was trending downwards. We have a big spike in volume that is potentially indicating a shift in trend. The trend does shift. We begin moving to the upside, and then we have another spike in volume. The market begins moving down on low volume, and I don't see any indications until price reaches this area right here where we have another spike in volume and the trend shifts again. So until you see a big spike, so actually if you see falling volume, you actually expect to see that trend continue, especially if it's to the downside. You do need to see big spikes in volume to change the underlying trend. So, you know, a lot of people will see, and a lot of people say, well, price is moving up on falling volume, it's likely to come back down. You're right. You're right that looks, if you see falling volume on an uptrend, that it means that the trend might be weakening, but you don't actually look for the trend to reverse until you see a spike in volume, because that is generally going to indicate a buying climax. The bulls are now exhausted. This is all retail buying at the top generally is what that means, and that is time to exit your trade. You want to exit your trade at the correct opportune time. So the average true range indicator on TradingView. So what I use the average true range indicator to determine for me is where I should set my stop. Generally is how I use average true range. So if I am attempting to buy the lows of a particular movement, instead of setting my stop right below the swing low, which is where most traders will, I need to give my trade room to breathe. So I'll look at the average true range value. Again, I commonly do this on the 4-hour chart. I see right now that average true range, again, if you're in the TradingView terminal, if you look over to your right, you have your watch list, your alarms, and then the icon below that is going to be your data window. If you open that up, it will show you the data from all your indicators. And this is going to help you a lot more than just guessing at the lines on the chart. Like, for example, if you want to buy at your moving average and you like hover your cursor over it, like most people do like this, and you're like, all right, that's price seems to be, let me see here. So this line's coming in right around 37.66. Okay, I like it. If you have a moving average and you want to like buy or trade off your moving average, just pull open your data window and you'll actually be able to see exactly where it's at. And then you can use that, go in and set your trade. I recommend front running your moving averages. So in this case, if I was attempting to buy the low of the range, I'm going to take ATR and I'm going to subtract 1 ATR from the swing low to actually give my trade room to breathe. So I would do this with a calculator. I would actually go, I'm just doing the pressing shift and holding down for demonstration purposes, but where's the low? I see it right here. I look at my OHLC data at the top. I see that the low is at 34.76. Okay. I see ATRs at 59 bucks. You know, I pull open the calculator, you know, 34.76 minus 53 bucks. All right, cool. My stop's at 34.23. I'm going to go grab a horizontal line, click this bad boy right here, double click on the horizontal line, go to coordinates, and just type in 34.23. Boom. And then my stops are pink. And then I right click on that bad boy and I hit an alert. And I'm like, hey, BTC USD 4-hour. I was wrong. You know, I usually do stop loss. So, and then I get push alerts to my mobile if something goes wrong. And then when an alert goes off on my computer, it wakes people up. So let's just say that. Other ways to use ATR as well. If I'm actually trading into consolidation, another strategy that I have for using ATR is if, let's pull up in an altcoin chart. I'm trying to think of a good example. TRX maybe might have been a good one if I still have my, no. What about Poly? My Poly chart is getting out there. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot on here. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Sorry, guys. I normally like to keep the charts nice, clean, and beautiful. But it seems I've settled for chaotic and crazy on this one. Come on now. Okay. I'm trying to find a good example of where I've done this. I know what I'll do. We'll go to tradingview.com and we'll go for people. Cracking cryptocurrency. That's me right there. Thank you very much. Yeah, here's a good example. All right, so this is an example of using average true range to determine your entry zone. So this is an example on Siacoin where you have clearly put in a low and you're attempting to buy into consolidation, but you're assuming a stop loss hunt. So instead of buying here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your support level. And what I do is I project up 1 ATR above price. Or excuse me, I'm going to use my swing low, and I'm going to project up 1 average true range on the time frame that I'm measuring at, normally either the 4-hour or the daily, depending on the length of the movement that I'm trying to capture. So I put in the swing low, I identify the swing low, I measure up from the swing low 1 ATR, and I measure down from the swing low 2 ATR. And that is going to determine my entry. I determine the average entry based upon that level, and then I measure from, so measure up 1 ATR, measure down 2 ATR, and then from the swing low, measure down 3.5x ATR is going to be my stop loss. So I've determined my entry zone. I determine take profits with a different metric. I don't use average true range to determine profit, but I use average true range to tell me how far price is likely to move against a trader entering at this current level in the market. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm trying to take advantage of liquidity grabs to the downside. Just curious to see how this played out. All right, so you see, price did not go down as far as I wanted it to, but we're in my entry zone. So I would be scaling, I would be laddering buys throughout this area. So I've determined my buy zone. So I'm going to be laddering entries starting at the top and going down to the bottom. So I would have gotten maybe a 25% fill on this particular trade. And we went up and hit just about every single one of my short-term take profit targets. And now we have returned to the entry zone on Siacoin. So I posted that the 13th of December. All right, so let's go and look at AUDUSDT. Just curious to see. Sometimes I don't go back and look at these ideas. All right, so same example here. This was a chart I did on the live stream for ADA. I used the swing low to determine 1 ATR above, 2 ATR below, stop loss 3.5 ATR below that. So hopefully this makes sense. So look at average true range. Determine your support level or your swing low, all right, determines on whether you want to be aggressive or conservative with this approach. Measure from your swing low or your support up 1 ATR, down 2 ATR, so you take ATR times 2, so far you go down, and then from that level you go down 3.5 ATR, so you take ATR times 3.5, that's your stop loss, all right? Now you've determined your entry zone, you have your range of optimum entry, and you ladder buys throughout that area. And then you use a different metric to determine take profit. So just again on this one, price hit the swing low, came back down. I would have got probably a 15% fill on this for entering in the demand zone. So entry for the double bottom right here. The stop loss is down here, and we hit every single long-term take profit target as well. Here was, and again, look, I did this, I just pressed the play button. Like I did this shit on 13th of December. Here was the breakout entry right here, 4-hour candle close above the breakout zone, above previous resistance. So this is where your opportunity is to get in on the trade where you missed out here. So you've entered in about maybe 10, 20% of your position at the best possible price. And now you are paying a premium on price, but you're also paying a discount on anxiety because now you have confirmation that the trade's going in your favor. So the 4-hour candle closes above that. At this point, again, I have the stop loss here for the breakout trade. So generally below resistance, the resistance that's broken, you set your stop loss. Or in this case, you would actually set your stop. I would have adjusted this to the low of the candle that actually breaks the range. So that's how I would have played that. That would have also been locking in profits from my entry down here. So if the trade just like kind of popped its head up, came back down, I would have taken a small L on this position, and I would have taken a big, fairly good win on this position right here. So probably a break even, honestly, in retrospect. But this trade ended up working out fantastically. Let's see here. Yeah, so AUDUSDT. Let's just measure from the breakout entry and be generous. Yeah, that was a 40% trade we put on. All right, so hopefully that explains how I use ATR. Hey, K7 Jixer, what's going on, man? Hey, sometimes I can't think of a good title for the video, and so I just use, what comes to mind. But I got a few DMs last night from some friends in Canada, and they're like, hey, man, I just went to log on to BitMEX like I always do, and it's telling me I'm going to lose my money. Crypto is dead. And, yeah, sorry, man, to the Quebecois out there, man. I'm sorry, guys. They are definitely breaking down. Yes, you are subscribed, Kugaka. Sorry, I have been completely... I have been completely ignoring chat today, man. So let's see here. Wanderlust. Hey, you're right, Electronium Rich. That is not what I said. But if you want to talk about my positions, yeah, I'm actually in both positions. I'm in XBT USD long, XBT H19 short. So the first position, we were entering. I used ATR to determine entries for this range right here. So again, I saw the consolidation zone. In this case, I took the median. I measured down 1 ATR, 2 ATR, 3 ATR, set the stop loss at 3.5x ATR. And so we got filled. We got filled as price was going down, 10, 30, 60. So the weight of our average entry on the second to last XBT USD long trade was 35.30. It took profits when we closed below the point of control right here. So, we went up, got this nice little spike. I was in a profitable trade, so there was no reason to exit the trade. So we just took profits when I got confirmation to the downside. We put on, once I saw this spike and I saw the double top, now I'm looking at the hourly chart, but once I saw this double top and a lot of resistance coming around this area, plus the big volume spike right here where you expect a retracement movement down, I added to the XBT H19 short. So the average price on that, it's actually 35.80 because it's $100 below XBT USD. So let's actually go over here and look at that. Yeah, so. Yeah, so this shows my 60-30-10s orders right here. So average entry of 35.80. Actually, no, those lines don't correspond to that. That was the only fill that I ended up taking. So average entry of 35.80 on the XBT hedge short. And now I'm just waiting, man. I'm taking very little positions. This yellow box right here is where VWAP was previously. It's also where our point of control is coming in. It's also the peak, of course, as it is the point of control, it's the peak of the high volume node. It's previous resistance. So I'm just waiting for an SR flip, man. If the SR flip is confirmed, it was invalidated right here, and now we're poking our head back up to try. Got some good volume coming on, some decent volume, not gonna lie, on the 4-hour chart. So you just gotta wait, man. I'm in a profitable position both ways. So whichever one doesn't go in my favor, I've got my stops and profit, and I'll just scale in. I'll add the profits from the winning trade and the underlying margin and capital to the new position size. So I'm ready to go either way. Hedged, man. I'm not in Ethereum. There's a couple other things that I'm in. Let's see here. On what fundamental reason should price go up? And if so, why didn't until now? I'm going to try. I'm going to try real hard, man. So what is the fundamental reason why price should go up? Because Bitcoin is valuable. Because there's more buyers than sellers. Caribbean Crypto Show. Hey, what's going on, man? Xantimus Crypto. Scott. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, Natural Medicine, blessings to you. Derek, no, that's Inverted Moon, Pork Blaster, Flight Doge. You're funny, bro. If U.S. crypto traders can't access volatility through leverage at BitMEX, maybe exchanges like Coinbase, Polo, and Kraken will start seeing more trading and higher volatility. Yeah, I'm actually looking to see Kraken really take off. The only thing is, like, Kraken's interface is a little difficult to get associated with. Again, I hadn't used Kraken extensively, and I actually had a few members join the premium trading group that were like, hey man, teach us how to use Kraken. So I actually had to go make sure I learned all the ins and outs of Kraken. I spent, again, that's kind of what I've been doing over the last 2 days. Plus working on I know guys, you've been very patient, but I got a whole lot going on this week. It's probably going to be over an hour and a half webinar on BitMEX. I explain everything. Like literally everything that most people don't understand, because I've traded futures contracts before. I compare BitMEX to the CBOE CME futures. I explain limited risk. I explain the liquidation engine. I explain maintenance margin, bankruptcy price, how liquidation is calculated, how you can scale into positions, how you can use your stop loss to determine your position size and your leverage selected. I break down every single limit order. I talk about the contracts, what actually happens at expiry, because most people don't understand that futures contracts settle against the index price at expiration, and then you can trade that. That is a trading strategy. I explain the up contracts and the down contracts because they're just modified European style options, guys. The up contract, the up profit contract on BitMEX is a European's options call. That's all it is. And the down contract is the exact same thing. It's a European style put, but with a KO barrier price. So it's slightly modified because you got that KO barrier price in there. But here's the thing. I've done some extensive research on the up and down contracts, and they're like the worst options contracts you could buy. Like, you can't short sell the up contract. Only the market maker can do that. Listen, BitMEX offers like fantastic leverage trading. The fact that they offer like limited risk futures trading, you have to remember, with regular futures contracts, you have unlimited risk. Like, you're not just limited to losing your margin. You can lose your entire position size because you get a margin call from your broker to top up with maintenance margin when your initial margin is depleted. They don't settle your order at market rates. Are you crazy? They're like, hell no. If you buy $11,000 of a contract at 10x leverage, so you only put up $1,100. When your $1,100 margin is gone, they don't settle your position at market rates and you've just lost your $1,100, move on. No, they issue a margin call and they're like, hey, you owe us money to hold your position open. And if you settle your position and you're in debt, you can end up owing your broker money. They'll take it out of your margin account. They'll take it out of your account. They're not going to let you put on. They're not going to let you put on a position without underlying margin. And fuck, they'll freeze your. Excuse me. Again, family-friendly show. I apologize for the cussing. They'll lock your account up from withdrawing money if you owe them, man. So with BitMEX, there's limited risk. You're limited to only losing your initial margin. Now, what makes it inconvenient, especially for 100x and 50x leverage, which you should never do, not because it's a bad trade and risky, but because of the maintenance margin, because maintenance margin is 0.5% of your position size. If you use 100x leverage, that ends up being half of your margin. So that means if you go 100x leverage on BitMEX, you're only protected by half of your margin. So instead of your bankruptcy price, which would be your position minus your margin, you with 100x leverage, you only have to lose half of your margin. So the whole idea, well, if price moves 1% against you, you get liquidated. No, if price moves against you 0.5%, you get liquidated. And that other half of your margin goes into the BitMEX insurance fund. Go look at how big the BitMEX insurance fund is. The BitMEX insurance fund wins, man, and 100x leveragers don't. It's the worst place, man. Okay. Claude D, I feel you, man. It's like, guys, if you guys like the show, if you guys enjoy the content, again, there's the like button's right there, man. Again, don't have to. It's cool. Maybe, it's January, maybe make a New Year's resolution, if you watch content creators, and if I don't support content creators, maybe I'm being a little parasitical. Something to think about. All right. Okay, so, man, I missed a lot of Gage Ashbaugh. I apologize, but would you please explain how to add your position? How much time do you have? Shit, I gotta stop cussing. I got 9 minutes left in the show, guys, because I do have to leave. So, I'll make an effort to talk a little bit more about hedging tomorrow. Suffice it to say, I'm simply going long on one contract and short on the other. All right, guys. So scrolling down to the bottom. All right, guys. So sorry I'm not going to be able to get to the chat. I do got that business meeting coming up. I got to meet with my attorney. I have to leave my house in 8 minutes. So I've got to run through this real quick. Did the whole Bitcoin analysis. Rewind if you want. Sorry that we couldn't look at some altcoins. I got to do that giveaway. Let's give away a week of free access to the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. All right. So I'm going to do this in a very professional way. I'll be right back, guys. One quick second. All right, guys, and we're back. So I don't know how to do the fancy dancy. If there's a way, guys, I got the chat open. If there's a way to somehow use the Twitch platform to randomly pick a Twitch subscriber, please let me know that, and I'll be watching. Otherwise, I'm gonna do this in the most scientific way I know how. So I called my developer. He didn't answer the phone. Kind of a bad time zone, actually. Kind of a bad time to calling him. But so I called. He didn't answer. So I called one of the analysts that works for Cracking Cryptocurrency. I called Alex. And what we're going to do, unless somebody can tell me real quick how to do this differently, is I'm going to have Alex select a random number. So if you guys do want to get in on the... All right, so hold on. we'll give it a few minutes. If you guys do want to get in on this giveaway, where I'm going to be giving away 1 week of free access to the premium trading group, it's limited to subscribers on Twitch. So I'll give you guys a few minutes if you guys want to push on over there, and I'll wait. Scott, you got 1 minute, because I don't want to tear everybody up, and I don't want to keep Alex. He's hard at work.
Yes, it is true. I'm at least working. Oh, that hard at work. I need to make a Windows recovery thumb drive. I'm having the damnedest time. Our manufacturing machine went down due to a Windows hardware error.
See, that's why you need to be using that Linux box, man.
Yeah, they don't make them like that.
They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't make them like that at all. I'm not sure they ever made the CNC machines. Well, maybe they made it back in like the 80s like that, but I think all of them are Windows-based now. Crazy. Crazy times you live in. Our manufacturing machines are running on Windows.
Derek says 7. All right, let's see here. Looking at Alex sounds like Alexa.
That's funny.
Sorry, bro.
It's okay. Alexa's very useful.
XRP I like. It's putting in that classic. It's putting in that classic high or low, getting close to resistance, man.
Yeah, we're definitely getting back here. Should we reopen it? Nah. We're gonna wait for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for confirmation on this before I jump on Ripple. Yeah, I like it. I like that price contraction right there. It's not ready yet. It's not ready for me to make a play on, but it's getting close. Come on, Scott. Oh, there you are. Hold on a sec. Hey, what up, dude?
Yo, two-factor token for Twitch.
Hold up.
Okay.
All right.
Man, I'm not sure if this works like backlog because Twitch never loads the freaking past game comments or chat, so like it looks like a freaking empty box right now. Yeah, I'm on the giveaways. Eligible users. Do you want to just like say the users and I can try and type them in here maybe? There's eligible users 0. Maybe make them all say something again. Ask them to like drop another comment.
I can just send you their names in Discord. Sorry, guys. Thank you for dealing with the absolute professionalism of the giveaway. But, you know, this is what you get when I just want to give stuff live away on the air. And I want to do it. I want to do it in a...
give something away. I was like, oh, we're doing that today. Cool. Wait, did he do something to pick a random person? Oh, I better start paying attention better.
All right. Let me make sure. So there we go there. Actually, yeah, so that's it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got 9 subscribers on Twitch. Yep, so 9 subscribers on Twitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4 already premium, 5 are already premium members. So there are 4 eligible people for the free week. Christian Pick, can you explain again, please, when the daily close, how I can find that if it's going to be bullish or bearish? Yeah, so I'll tell you what I'm looking at real quick here while Scott finishes typing this in. Yeah, it's a little sad, man. But, you know, hey, this is real life, man. Let's go to, let me show you. Daily time frame, BTC USD. Current support and resistance plotted out right here. I'm looking for a daily close above 3640. That's the current resistance HVN. Current, if you scroll in and you only take the consolidation area, that's the current point of control. But you can just clearly see it as horizontal support and resistance, marked almost by this equilibrium block right here. It's also the top of the HVN. If this breaks, I'm looking for a gap trade back up to this area. At the very least, a retest of the lower area of this HVN and this resistance zone. However, if price does end up closing below 35.50, then we've invalidated higher lows on the daily time frame, and more than likely we are going to test lower supports. So that's the range, just waiting for it to break, and once that range breaks, you'll have confirmation for your directional bias. You ready, Scott?
Nah, man, and I didn't picking up people's names for some silly reason.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to Alex. Who hung up on me? Oh, he's probably watching the stream too. Like, this dude is terrible at life. All right, so I'm just gonna have him pick a random number between 1 and 4. And Gabrielle. Hey, what's up, man? So can you just pick a random number between 1 and 4?
1 and 4?
You know, and if I assign the number on air though, Alex will know who that is, and maybe he doesn't like the sound of the name, so I don't want to put any bias. So I'm looking at my screen. I can see the 1, 2, 3, 4 eligible subscribers, and so I'm just going to go from the top down. So the one on the top, just looking at my screen, is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So yeah, Alex, people can hear you. Just pick a random number between 1 and 4, and we're good to go.
I pick 4.
He picks number 4. Hold on a second. Just a quick sec. My bad. Because he picks 4. Keep that in mind. But we had a whole bunch of new subs. Yeah, I wasn't taking into account Kugaka, Detro 10 Crypt, Trader Chris. So really it should if it would have been between 1 and 7, would your opinion have changed?
Yes.
Okay. Let's redo this. I'm going to do it. For number 4, I'm going to give 2 away because that wasn't fair. So number 4, that is going to be the first giveaway. I'm going to give away 2. So that's going to be number 4 on my original list was Gabriel 33, man. You get a free week of access. Hit me up in the Discord, man. You know me. I'll put you in there. You're in there like swimwear. And we'll do another one between 1 and 7 so that the new subscribers get in as well. All right, pick a number between 1 and 7, bro. 6. 4, 5, and 6. Detro 10 Crypt. Detro 10 Crypt, man. You got it, bro. So Detro 10 Crypt and Gabriel 33, give it to all of them. Detro 10 Crypt and Gabriel 33, congratulations, man. Thank you so much for subscribing. Go to discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com and DM me, JWiseFree, and I will give you premium access. I'll get you in there as soon as I can, guys. I got to run for this business meeting. It's 5 minutes past when I was supposed to leave my house. So I really got to run, guys. You guys have been awesome, fantastic, beautiful, lovely people. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, guys, if you want to support the show, make sure to follow on over at twitch.tv/crackingcrypto. Give us a follow or a subscription. Highly appreciate it. Helps keep us on the stream, man. Helps keep the lights on around here and helps us make the stream better. If you guys want to head over to crackingcryptocurrency.com. Whoa, what the heck? Crackingcryptocurrency.com, the 3rd greatest website on the internet, guys. If you want to support the show in a more substantial way, feel free to pick up some merch. Again, highly helps us out. If you want to join the trading group, you get access to our premium signals and setups, your own trade journal, the webinar series, our database library. You also get access to the hidden Discord, the members lounge, and the VIP day trading voice chat, as well as curated news, fundamental and technical analysis, and one-on-one mentorship and support, guys. Hope to see y'all in there. You've all been fantastic. Sorry I got to jet so quick. Normally it's a 2-hour show. I'll make it up to you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. As always, trade safely, guys, and peace out.